Oh, okay.
What do you think for that fight? It's the WBC. They're looking for that route. What do you see in that
I would
fight?
like I would like to see him fight Keyshawn first, to be honest, because I feel
Yeah.
like they're kind of more on the same level career wise. Like let me not
Right.
even
Better
say that.
opposition.
Frank has definitely accomplished more, better opposition, correct. But Shakur, multi-division world champ, and he's looking for the guys with the belts and whatnot. He ain't really too focused on the contenders like that. But I think him and Keyshawn, Frank Martin Keyshawn would be a great fight. Like that'd be a great test for Keyshawn for him to test how good he is because he's been hyped since before the Olympics on ESPN by Shakur, by plenty of other people, Andre Ward or whoever, since he was an amateur. And Frank Martin, he's been making a great name for himself in his pros. And he had a pretty decent amateur background as well too. But I would like to see Keyshawn test himself against Frank Martin. I would like to see how Frank Martin deals with Keyshawn's style and vice versa. It's a great fight for them right now. And plus, they hot on each other right now, bro. Like they don't like each other. They know each other's faces, all on Twitter going back and forth. I feel like this is a great fight for them too, instead of him and Shakur right now.
Right. But when we talk about logically, the fights that could possibly be happening, those two names are in the discussion.
Mm.
I want to hear what you think. I mean, it seems to me you feel like it might be a blowout. Is that what you're thinking?
I just feel like Shakur, he's just his defense is just is on a different level. His IQ is on a different level. Um, from you gotta look at sometimes you gotta look at a fighter's last fight to kind of like his last fight is how you kind of look at him because that's his most recent work. Um, what bothered me about Frank's last fight was the fact that he took a while to really adjust to his opponent. Like I
Hmm.
honestly didn't expect expect him to have that much of an issue with his opponent's style. Like I saw from like round 2 or 3 when Frank started to push him forward and push his guy back. Like the guy could not fight going back at all. All he had to do was
Exactly.
push him back, set the tempo and bring it to him,
Hmm.
and the guy was gonna fall apart. The guy had like, no disrespect to him, but he had like a amateur Olympian style. That's cool in the amateurs. That's not gonna last in the pros. You should be able to break that down, tear that dude apart, take it to him, dog him out. And he starts to do that towards the end of the fight. It became easy at that point because he was pushing the pace, pushing him back, being a dog. That's all you had to do throughout the fight. And I felt like he took too long to adjust. Shakur won't make that same mistake. Shakur is going to have a certain game plan. He's going to stick to it. And then when it's time to up the tempo, he's going to up the tempo and still remain defensively aware. Um, I just think it's an IQ thing. It's an experience thing. Uh, I just don't feel like Frank is favored in that fight. And that's my opinion.
Right. You think it goes a distance?
It could go to the distance. I could see it going the distance for sure because Frank ain't sitting down for nobody. He ain't laying down for nobody. He a dog. Um, But a stoppage is not a question. It ain't like on the feet. What I mean, I don't see a stoppage out of question. Um,
From both
but
opponents?
no, I'm saying for Shakur.
Shakur.
Like yeah,
Only.
for Shakur, I don't see a stoppage out of question. But um, I will say like I can see it going to decision Shakur's way. And that's just based on just how poised and mature Shakur is in the ring, and now he's also up in his power and his office and everything. But that's just how I see it.
Right. Who do you believe possesses the bigger punch in that fight?
Oh, Frank definitely got possesses a bigger punch, but that ain't gonna matter if you're not able to hit nobody with the punch. You know what I'm saying? Like
Correct.
that's the argument that everybody's going with Shakur and Tank. Everybody's like, oh, like if Shakur get clipped, that's night night. That's facts. That's 100% facts. But Shakur is one of the guys where he's the hardest to hit in boxing right now. He's the
100.
hardest to hit. So it's like, if you're gonna land that shot, then that's the real question. Are you gonna land that shot? So uh that's the same thing that comes into question with the same conversation with Frank. And then plus Shakur, he's up in his power right now too. Shakur, he just went up. He dropped Yoshino about 2, 3 times. Um, and I feel like that, even though Yoshino is not really known for real, Yoshino definitely was a tough competitor. Like I've watched his fights before Shakur had fought him, and he's a tough dude. And Shakur got him out of there easy, easy.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you got to look at stuff like that. Shakur has respectable power. It's not like something that's just going boof and then you out like Deontay Wilder versus Hellenius or something like that. But he definitely gonna beat you up and he might knock you down a few times. That's just what it is.
Right, right. But you did say Frank has, the bigger punch. Does he have a
For
puncher's
sure.
chance in this fight?
Everybody got to punch his chance, man.
Right.
Everybody got to punch his chance. It's boxing. If he set it up right, he might. If he's able to wear Shakur down, if he's able to get him off his game plan and think outside the box and hit him, then things like that can happen. It for sure can happen. Shakur is no perfect fighter, but but the chances of that because of the fighter that Shakur is pretty slim.
Mm, mm. So it's like you're interested, but you would rather see him, fight Keyshawn. And
For
is
sure.
that more because it's less of a skiller gap, or is it more because of the animosity outside the ring?
I think it's the animosity outside the ring, and I feel like their styles are made for an exciting fight, more of an exciting fight. I feel like Shakur just has too much experience with Frank right now. I wouldn't want to see that. I would like to see Keyshawn and Frank because of the experience that they've had in the ring. Even though Keyshawn doesn't have that much experience, as much experience in the pros, that amateur background that Keyshawn has is nothing to be played with. And he's smart. He's very smart. He don't got no amateur style. He always had a pro style, even in the amateurs. He just was able to, work it to his advantage out back then. But he always fought like a pro. Uh, so I feel like the experience factor, the style, and the animosity, I feel like that's what's kind of making this fight more interesting than Frank and Shakur.
Mm.